When I woke up, the first things I saw were Satoko and the calendar. The first wake up is supposed to tear yesterday's date off the calendar. Sometimes, we both tear the calendar by mistake, so the date ends up 2 days ahead. Satoko likes to tear the calendar, and that makes her wake up early every morning. That would usually make me smile, but I felt devastated as soon as I saw the 22nd on the calendar. It's going to happen today. June 22nd. The day I die.
おはようなのです。
You seem kind of cheery.
おはようございますですわよ、リカ。二人ともおはようです。二人？あらあら、まだ寝ぼけてるでございますの？さとこの他にも、この部屋に住んでいる人がいますのですよ。その人にも、おはようを言いましたのです。もう、朝から怖がらせるのはなしでございますわよ。
Oh, it's too early to make this sort of joke, but be careful with those jokes, Rika. What if Satoko hadn't taken her shot yet and you said that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
これでさとこは、今晩怖くて僕の手を握ってないと寝られないのです。
Sometimes, I feel like Satoko can see Hanyuu, and it's as if the three of us are living together. That would be a lot of fun. It was time to go to school, but my body felt heavy. Today, I was going to die. Knowing that, I didn't even feel like going to school. The more I've repeated the same life, the more precisely I can detect my day of death. I always die on the day I feel this way.
リカ？そろそろ学校に行きますわよ。僕は、今日はお休みしますです。リカ。圭一さんに聞きましたけど、何か悩み事があるって本当なんですの？あると言えばあるし、ないと言えばないです。
What else is there left to do? Today is the day. It's too late now. But part of me still feels like doing something. I've been in this world only a few days. My emotions went up and down like a roller coaster. Sometimes I felt motivated to fight, and other times I felt desperate and gave up. Even though Keiichi and everyone else showed me such strength, I lacked the iron will to fight against my fate. The most confidence I ever felt was when the dice all came up 6. A fortunate coincidence that was just handed to me. I was hoping to gain the courage to fight against my fate. But here I am today, conceding to destiny. Keiichi told me that we can make a miracle happen if we work together. But there was something he didn't teach me. He didn't teach me how to believe in that. If I don't believe that I can make a miracle happen, I won't be able to make even a crack in the wall of... I'm gonna repeat that. I won't be able to make even a crack in the wall of fate. There we go, I was reading that too slow. It seems so simple, yet it's so difficult. I couldn't even decide whether I should be on the stage, or stay off it and remain as a spectator. I told Hanyuu that I haven't decided what to do after this world is over. But that's the spectator's point of view. For the people on the stage, this world is the only one. For them, the end of the world means the end of their lives. That's why they do anything to change their fate. That's why they can make a miracle happen. I never worked hard enough, because I always knew that I could reset my life. I thought I was just one pathetic girl who couldn't change her own fate. That's why I ended up here again today. It's as if I slacked off on my summer homework, and woke up on the last day of vacation with nothing completed. What should I do? Should I not work on my assignment, knowing that I'm not going to make it on time anyway? Or should I do whatever I can, even though I may still get in big trouble? Perhaps a miracle will happen. Perhaps the homework will be done overnight. Miracles don't happen to homework. I have to do the homework on my own. Without effort, nothing will ever get done. Without effort, not even one question will be solved.
リカの好きなように過ごすといいと思いますのです。リカの大好きな窓際で甘いワインを飲むのもリカらしい過ごし方だと思いますのです。
Oh.
どうせ怒られるなら、最後の一日も気ままに過ごそうという開き直りね。
For Hanyuu, it's not about the homework. It's more about the vacation itself. The vacation will be over, no matter how much I want it to continue. In her eyes, it's pathetic for me to make a big deal of not completing my homework, and contemplating whether I should still work on it or not. On top of that, I'm saying that I might as well die if my vacation is going to be over. If I was in her situation, I'd be laughing hysterically. Keiichi told me to seek everyone's help in order to finish my homework. But I'm not taking that offer. Not only because I don't want to cause them trouble, but also because I don't want the teacher to know that I got help from them. If I was going to have regrets, I should have worked on it from the beginning. If I had no intention of working on it, I should have just relaxed without stressing so much. If I didn't care what other people thought, I should have asked for their help in the first place. Those are the three options I talked about with Hanyuu yesterday. I didn't choose any of them. I've been living for over 100 years, but I still can't decide. My 100 years were wasted.
さとこ、僕は今日、風邪をひいてしまったので、お休みしますです。そうなんですの？体温計でお熱を測ります？今日はゆっくりさせてくださいです。知恵には、僕は風邪で休むと伝えてほしいのですよ。リカ、本当に風邪なんですの？なんだか命を狙われてるような話をしているって圭一さんが言ってて、私、本当に心配してますのよ。ありがとうです。もう行かないと遅刻しますですよ。
Satsuko looked at the clock, then looked back at me again.
私は今すごく幸せですのよ。みんなと楽しく過ごせて、またリカと一緒に暮らせるようになって、とても嬉しいんですの。だから、リカがいなくなったら、私がどれだけ悲しい世界に生き続けなくちゃならないか、よく考えてほしいでございますのよ。僕の、いない世界。 リカのいない世界なんて、とても辛くて悲しい世界ですわ。
I've never thought about that. I thought that the world ended when I died. I've never thought about the world after my death. That was never my concern.
だから、どうか自分をリカが思ってる以上に大事にしてほしいんですの。リカ一人の不幸じゃない。リカに悲しいことがあれば、私も、そしてみんなも不幸になることを決して忘れないでくださいますですのよ。さとこ。リカ。今日はそっとしておきますけど、悩みがあるなら絶対に相談するんですのよ。仲間が悩んでいるのに自分を頼ってくれないこともまた悲しいんですから。
Satoko seemed like she wanted to say more, but she looked at the floor instead. I know what she's trying to say. I realize how selfishly I've been living. It was wrong for me to look at this world as a stage play. But it's too late. It's too late now. Satoko left the house in a hurry. Hanyuu and I were left alone inside the house.
僕もお邪魔でしょうから、リカが呼ぶまで消えていますのです。
気が利くのね。
100年生きても、リカはリカです。100歳の仙人にはなれないのです。リカには、年相応に悩んで考える時間があってもいいと思います。僕がリカに背伸びを敷いたこともあるかもしれませんのです。
羽生は悪くないわ。私が勝手に天狗になってただけよ。
僕とおしゃべりしたいときは呼んでくださいです。
もう泣きつかないの？私がこの世界で終わりにするのを撤回してほしいって。
リカは頑固な人ですから。言えば言うほど逆効果になりますのです。
さすが、付き合いが長いだけのことはあるわね。
もうリカも悟っているようですから、言います。今日です。悔いのない一日を。リカが何をしてもしなくても、朝が来て夏休みが終わるように、この世界も終わります。でも、リカが望めば、次の朝も訪れる。そして、それはまたしても、今年の6月かもしれないけれど、朝は朝。
もっと小さい頃、毎日が退屈で、毎朝、起きても同じ日が繰り返されてるんじゃないかって思ったことがある。それが本当になるだけのことだしね。
今日、有意義に生きてくださいとだけ言いますのです。これ以上は僕は何も言いませんのです。
多分、今日だろうと思っていたけど、あんたにはっきりと言われると答えるわね。やっぱり終わるのね。今回も。
はい。今回も終わりますのです。いつもと同じように。
Hanyuu disappeared, and it went completely quiet inside the house. How should I spend my day? How should I end this day? Should I work on my homework, knowing that I'm not going to make it on time? I only have half a day left. I have to do my best. I should think about what I can do. This world is supposed to be a happy place. People are enjoying their lives. I should have enjoyed my life more too. I don't mean in that I should have lived my life in blind optimism. It means that I should have enjoyed my life by fully experiencing both happiness and sadness. If I did that, I wouldn't be as worried about what to do after my death. I should have simply lived with all my might. When the time comes, it'll be over.
今日を生きる。
That's a very important phrase. But it sounds meaningless when I say it, because I can repeat this meaningless life as many times as I wish. Is this what she calls over Ooishi? Yes, I think this is what she calls Ooishi. Or maybe not. While Satoko was at school, I washed the dishes. I don't think... Does she call Ooishi to the residents? To their house, not residence. Well, house and residence are the same thing. Hanyuu would usually stay with me when Satoko wasn't around. But she's not here right now. It's been a while since I was all by myself. I never thought anyone could feel so lonely while washing the dishes. I'm going to die today anyway. This world is ending today. Why should I wash these dishes? That's because I'm thinking about Satoko, who will have to move on with her life tomorrow. I will encounter a new Satoko in the next world. But I realized something after hearing what Satoko told me earlier. After I'm dead, I wonder how Satoko will move on with her life. The worlds that I've left in the past all went on without me. I wonder if Satoko will be able to cook without me. I wonder if she can go shopping on her own. I wonder if she can wash her clothes all by herself. I've been avoiding thinking about this, but Satoko and my other friends must have been overcome by sadness. No comment. It's too late for me to think about this, because I started feeling like I want to cry. I'm feeling like this because I don't want to leave this world. This is the world that I've always wanted. It's my hope that I can continue to live in this world beyond June of 1983. After a long journey, I finally ended up in this world. But I was able to truly live in this ideal world for only one night. The night of Otonogashi. This world will be shattered again after I die tonight. We finally saved Satoko, and all our friends assume that our happy life has returned. However, I'm going to die tonight. They will mourn for me. We worked so hard to make a miracle happen, but they're going to lose their happy world in just one day. Am I going to start a new life in the next world, as if nothing happened? I'd lived 3 days in my new world, but 3 sad days were going to pass in this world. That's no good. I can't think straight anymore. I can't stop the tears from flowing from my eyes. I hugged Satoko's pillow and cried. I could smell her scent. After I die, Satoko will probably hug my pillow and cry like this. Is everyone else going to cry for me too? I'm sure they will. And they'll be sad. Not about my death. they'll be sad, not because I'm dead, but because I never told them about what was troubling me so much. I wonder if they're going to feel regret. Will they wonder what they could have done to open up my heart? What they could have done to help me in my time of trouble? Will they wonder what they could have done to save me? I felt miserable and frustrated. I held Satsuko's pillow and continued to cry. And the next moment, I heard the phone ringing. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't stop ringing. I picked up the phone, hoping that my friends would call to check on me. However, I heard a weird guy's voice coming from the receiver. Okonogi.
どうも、お世話になっておりますね。
That's Okonogi, right?
おこのぎぞうと申しますが、古出さんのお宅でいらっしゃいますか?
おこのぎ。
It was Okonogi from the Mountain Dogs. It was the first time I'd received a phone call from him.
緊急のご連絡がしたくってお電話させてもらいました。学校にお電話したら、今日は休んだと言われましたもので。具合は大丈夫ですかいね?
I'm not alright. This is the day I die. I knew he had no idea, but I still couldn't help but feel upset.
風邪なのです。ちょっと今日はゆっくりしていますです。
そうですか。偶然とはいえ、それは好都合だったですんで。
え?
I had no idea what made him say that he was glad I was sick.
どうして僕が風邪をひくと、おこのぎの好都合になるのですか?
いえ、実はあなたの命が狙われている可能性があるっちゅう連絡が入ってきたんです。
それはどういうことなのですか?
この度の富武氏たちの事件なんですが。
Interesting. Huh.
東京の調査の結果、入江所長が黒幕である可能性が高いっちゅう連絡が入ってきました。
Rika was catching on, so they're changing up the story a little bit to make her suspicious of Irie.
入江が黒幕?
Don't fall for it! Please don't fall for it! Wait, I don't remember if she fell for it or not. Ah! It's been a while since I read Minagoroshi. Well, this is my first time reading the visual novel. I mean, experiencing Minagoroshi? I've read the manga and seen the anime, but I'm just gonna continue on. This is the first time I've heard something like this. This isn't something that happens at random. It's the very first time. That means it's not just a coincidence. I'm hearing this now because of something that I did differently in this world. I've done many things differently in this world, though. I can't tell which decision led to this result. However, maybe this is something that could change my life drastically. Okonogi continued to explain to me. There had been budget cuts to their research, and they were scheduled to be shut down within a few years. Irie was strongly against that, because he was embezzling their research money by requesting bigger and bigger budgets. Oh my god. Because they were going to cancel their research, he tried to sell the research data and make a lot of money off it.
それは本当なのですか?
I mean, it is slightly believable, but... I wonder... I can't remember if Rika actually fell for this, actually.
信じたくないでしょうが、事実ですんで。まあ、入江所長はどこか後ろめたそうなところがありましたんよ。すったらんな感じでした。
Okay, since it was Okonogi saying that line, and that it didn't come off, that doesn't warrant a slap. I'm mainly saying that out of the latter reason, not the, former. Okay, she doesn't fall for it. I think I can say with certainty that Irie is not that type of person. I've been around him for years, and as far as I know, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't even have the guts to be one. He pretends to be cold-hearted for the sake of his research, but he can't shake his regrets. He's simply a nice person. It's hard to believe that he was embezzling money from Tokyo. I'm starting to be suspicious of Takano, but she's actually a nice person too. She seemed mean at times, but she could also act as innocent as a child. However, I'm starting to suspect her because Ooishi told me that the body they found in Gifu might not be Takano's body. Okonogi works for Takano. That means I can't trust Okonogi. In other words, I can trust Irie because Okonogi is clearly just trying to set him up. On the other hand, if Takano isn't guilty, I could be making a huge mistake. Yet, it always seemed to be as though Tomotake and Irie were good friends. If Tokyo had suspected that Irie was embezzling money from them, Tomotake would have treated him far more coldly. Anyway, at the very least, Tomotake of Tokyo... Tomotake of Tokyo didn't have such a bad impression of Irie. I like the description that Rika's giving Tomotake. Tomotake of Tokyo. I don't know why, but that name just has a lot of energy. The Irie of the Irie Institute and Tomotake of Tokyo were good friends. Tomotake of Tokyo and Takano of Tokyo were good friends. Why is there just, Honestly, I don't mind this, but at the same time, I just find this kind of funny to read out loud. I don't know, I'm sorry, egg on my face, but this is just amusing. Just Rika putting their titles after their names. Takano of Tokyo and Okonogi of Tokyo were superior and subordinate. But Okonogi of Tokyo says that Tokyo is suspicious of Irie. This doesn't make sense. Everyone seems to be good friends at first glance, but the links don't connect from start to finish. Irie thinks he has a positive relationship with Tokyo, but Tokyo is suspicious of Irie? That's just odd. The chain should be connected, but one of the links is twisted out of order. It's breaking the loop.
すでに東京が内定に着手してますんで、詳しいことはもうちょい待ってほしいそうです。また、入江はあなたを何らかの交渉の最後の切り札に使おうとしている可能性があるらしく、あなたに対する警護体制を本日よりさらに強化せよとの命令が来ました。それでご自宅にいられる分は都合がいいと言ったんですんで。すでに古出神社の周辺は山犬が3交代、20人体制で警護に入らせていただきました。
Wow!
もちろんご安心ください。それっちゃわからないように気を利かせてますんで。
すごい警護体制なのです。その警護はいつまで続くのですか？
東京から解除の命令が来るまでずーっとですんで。今回の一件が解決するまでです。
That should have been good news for me, since today was the day I was supposed to die. This is exactly the kind of security I wanted. That's why I let Takano into the ritual storehouse. However, I have a bad feeling about this. Tokyo should be my ally. But that arrangement is just like Irie's relationship with Tokyo. Everything seems in order from my end, but when you trace it the other way, it feels like something's off at some point. I have this uncomfortable feeling because I have a few uncertainties about Tokyo. Tokyo and Irie have strong ties, but they're suspicious of him? Is Irie actually a bad guy? Is Takano still alive? And is she the one who killed Toмотake? Those questions and more made me uncertain about accepting help from Tokyo. I'd thought Tokyo, as a single organization, would move with a single intention. But in reality, they have multiple, different intentions. In other words, there must be multiple. What's the word? I see it in the political section of newspapers all the time. Ah, right. Factions. Are there two factions in Tokyo? One that wants to remain friendly with Irie, and one that looks down on him? That would explain the irregularities I'm sensing. Maybe I've been talking to Ooishi too much. If he hadn't told me that he was suspicious of Takano, would I have believed Okonogi without a doubt? Well, maybe not. Even without Ooishi's theory, Okonogi still sounded very suspicious. Irie was loyal to his research on Hinizawa syndrome. Tokyo understood this, so his relationship with Toмотake wasn't particularly strained. Plus, Irie isn't the type of person who would commit embezzlement. He's a law-abiding citizen with a good moral character. Of course, he has some ambition as a researcher, but that only goes as far as common sense expects any researcher to. It's nothing like the criminal aspirations that would lead to major embezzlement. A great number of the mountain dogs were going to be guarding me. This is what I've been wanting in my previous lives. But, for some reason, I couldn't be happy about it. I couldn't help but feel depressed. If this house is like an empty birthday cage, then they'd be the fox with feathers stuck to its face. I don't know if I can really trust the people who are protecting me. I tried to recall more about Okonogi. The mountain dogs have been protecting me for years. Okonogi proved his skills in many of my other lives. To them, I'm something of a special existence. If something happens to me, it would be a disaster. The Irie Institute is there to keep Hinizawa syndrome under control, and the mountain dogs are there to protect me from evildoers. So why would they try to betray me now? I thought about it for a while, but I had no idea. I just know one thing for sure. I can't feel comfortable with the protection of the mountain dogs alone. I want someone other than Tokyo protecting me. But I bet such a person wouldn't believe me. Wait, what about Ooishi? I've been keeping in touch with Ooishi since the other day. He still thinks that the mysterious deaths in Himizawa are all plotted by the village authorities. If he believes that, then he might believe that my life is in danger. For him, I'm a special person with lots of useful information. The mountain dogs hate the police, though. When I asked them to assassinate Satoko's uncle, they refused because he was being watched by the police. I would feel relief if the police were guarding me along with the mountain dogs. That way, the dogs wouldn't be able to harm me, even if they were working for an evil faction of Tokyo. Besides that, if my suspicious tourism turned out to be baseless, more protection couldn't hurt. I'm sure that double security will keep me safe.
わかりましたです。 今日はおとなしくしていますです。
ええ、そうなさってくださるとうちらも助かりますんね。町へ繰り出して変なチンピラに喧嘩でも売られるとうちらも苦労しますん。
根に持たれているのです。
では、風お大事になさってください。
風邪の診察に診療所に行ってはいけませんですか？
万が一ということがありますんね。入江診療所には当分近寄らないでください。妙な注射でも打たれやすと大変ですかいね。
Oh, wait a second. Maybe another reason why they're trying to get Rika to suspect Irie more is because... Wait, I forgot a certain detail, and it's a spoiler anyway, so I can't say it.
入江はそんなことしないです。
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん、安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。
したらんしゃもないのです。
おこのぎもいつの間にかすっかり地元言葉になりましたです。
最初は普通の東京なまりだったです。直せと言われれば直せるつもりですがね。地域に溶け込むのが仕事ですから。
I finished speaking with him. As soon as I hung up the phone, I opened my phone book and looked for the number to the Okonomiya Police Department. It was nearly noon. It felt like the pages of the phone book were sticking to my skin. I must have been in a hurry. I really don't want to die. I want to stay in this world. I don't want to leave this perfect world. I'm trying to do something because I don't want to die. I'm trying to live with all my might. I'm trying to enjoy my life. For the first time, I was spending my last day positively without drinking wine until I was drunk.
もしもし、大石です。お待たせしてすみませんでしたね。ちょいと今からお隣の県警に行ってこようとしてたところでした。どうもあちらさん話が通らないんで、直に襟首を掴んでゆすってやろうと思いましてね。
県警、高野の死体のことですか？
ねえ。周りは勝手に納得して、高野の死体に間違いないって繰り返すんですが、私はもうどうにも腑に落ちない。それで直接行って見てこようと思います。死体が高野でないと分かれば話は一気に急展開しますからね。高野を重要参考人として手配できます。幸い向こうの柔道部とは交流がありますので、おとちょいとみっちり話し込んできますよ。
That was all me, I'm sorry. It looked like Ooishi was proactively moving forward with the investigation. If that body really is Takano, that would be sad for her, but it would give me reason to trust the mountain dogs. If that's not Takano, then it would tell me that she's part of this whole incident. No matter what the result is, it will give me some kind of hint. But only if I'm still alive. But really, it's unfortunate. Ooishi is leaving for Gifu. He can't be around to protect me.
大石、実は変な声の電話があったのです。知らない人でしたが、村人だと名乗りましたです。
匿名の電話ですか。続けてください。その電話は何と？
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいる、というのです。早ければ、今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
それは本当ですか。なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。わかりました。私はもう出発しなければなりませんので行けませんが、警官を何人か行かせます。駐在にも連絡して、あなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。今日はご自宅ですよね。風邪か何かですか？家にいて戸締まりをしっかりしてください。すぐに警官を行かせます。
大石さん、どうしたんすか？先方との約束の時間ギリギリですよ。
今ね、フルでリカから電話がありました。匿名の電話があり、彼女の命を誰かが狙っているらしいと警告してきたらしいって言うんです。
フルでリカをですか？どうして？村のマスコットじゃなかったんですか？
連続開始事件絡みで私と接触してたことに対する警告じゃないかと見てます。本当に殺すかどうかは疑わしいが、彼女も年頃の子供です。命を狙われていると聞かされたら穏やかにはいられないでしょう。それにここで信頼を損ねると以後の関係にも支障をきたしますからね。2、3人でいいです。大至急行かせてください。あと駐在さんにも連絡して、とりあえず彼女を安心させてあげてください。
了解っす。
Is this from Ooishi's point of view? Oh, we're getting a Ooishi POV. Rika Furude might have some kind of a hint regarding the mysterious deaths in Hinizawa. Ooishi couldn't let her die. My apologies, it was third person.
私たちも現地の分からず屋どもを締め落としたらすぐにひなみ沢へ行きましょう。ちょいとハードな出張スケジュールになりましたよ。
こんなの楽勝っす。
And
こちら
back,
ひばり。
and back to the house.
駐在警官が境内に入りました。R 宅へ向かっています。
了解。引き続き監視されたし。
R と接触。警官を中に入れました。沖宮署に R から連絡があったようです。自身の身辺警護を依頼したと思われます。
うちらのことは喋ったんかいね。
命を狙われているとの匿名電話があったと言っています。作り話でしょう。また、それとは別に沖宮署から私服警官が数人派遣されるようです。
何年？山犬だけじゃ信用できんって国会ね。
厄介ですね。監視体制にも支障が出ます。
まさか、気づいたんじゃねえんかね。そんなわけはないとは思うが、全般に職質に注意しろと伝達。疑われたら意味ないんで、暗情警戒しろっちゅう伝えてえな。
了解。本部より全般、古出神社周辺に警察介入の動きあり、職質には特に注意されたし、今夜の決行ですが、様子を見た方がよろしいのでは。
連絡はするが、三差はやるっちゅう言うだろうな。明朝に R の死亡が発覚して話が進むよう、もうお膳立てが済んどるって話だ。警官に不審と思われとない。もし疑われたら、おとなしを引くこっちゃん。
Ooishi had called the officers pretty quickly. The officer who was in the area arrived within 10 minutes after I spoke with him. He asked me what kind of phone call I received today. I decided to make up a whole story. It'll all be over if they check my call history, but I'm sure Ooishi won't bother doing anything like that. He thinks I'm worth protecting, because I have information about the incidents in Himizawa. The policeman is one of the villagers, so I know him very well. More officers are coming here from the Okinomiya department. The officer told me to relax, because he'd stay with me until then. Ooishi must have thought I was frightened half to death after getting a threatening phone call. After about 30 minutes, 4 officers in plain clothes arrived at the shrine. The local officer returned to his police box.
状況は聞いています。神社周辺に我々が立ちますので、何かあったらすぐに呼んでください。あと、夕方になったら大石刑事がこっちに来ると言っていました。
I was relieved to learn that Ooishi would be coming here.
どうかよろしくお願いしますです。
必ず一人がここの下にいますので。すみませんが、その者にお手洗いだけは貸してもらってもよろしいですか？あと、緊急時用にその者に合鍵を預からせることはできますか？
どうぞです。おトイレも貸しますです。
My house is on the second floor of a storage building. The first floor contains emergency supplies for the village. I'm happy to know that at least one police officer will be there for me. The officers... I heard a police siren in the distance as soon as I said that. The officers confirmed their positions on the map of the shrine. One will be in the storage building, and 2 more will walk around the shrine property. Also, 1 more officer will be standing in front of the stairs that lead to the shrine. This world's Ooishi is certainly reliable. In my other lives, Ooishi tended to look at me as his enemy. However, in this world, he thinks I'm on his side. I'm sure it's because we all became friendly with him around the time we saved Satoko. It was unfortunate at the time, but perhaps the return of Satoko's uncle was a necessary event. If Okonogi was right about Irie, he wouldn't be able to come near me with 20 mountain dogs and 4 police officers protecting me. If Okonogi is the bad guy, they'd be discouraged from acting by the presence of the police. Not too different from giving garlic to a vampire. This is the best protection I've had in 100 years. Even so, am I still going to be killed tonight? I need to do whatever I can. I should struggle, as hard as possible. I won't give up. I won't even think about my next life. This is what enjoying life is all about. This is what living seriously is all about.
Hanyuu, いる？
いますのですよ。
That was fast.
どう思う？今回。
確かに、僕もこういう展開はあまり見た記憶がありませんのです。
Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait. Is this the scene where they're going to fight? I think this might be the scene where Rika and Hanyuu fight.
今回はひょっとしてって思うことはやっぱり罪なのかしらね。
僕は期待も失望もしませんです。ただ、あるがままに訪れる結果を眺めるのみです。
Hanyuu is still acting like a bystander. I knew she was going to say something like that. But part of me was hoping she would say something more positive. Upon hearing her say what she did, I felt a little disappointed, and wondered why Hanyuu refused to be anything but an onlooker. I always thought it was normal for her to be that way, because she's a special existence. I also convinced myself I had to be an onlooker too, since I was a similar being. However, I can't let go of everything and become a bystander. I can't become like her. I can't stop hoping for a better life for Rika Furude. That hope was betrayed so many times, my heart was crushed countless more. That's why I stopped expecting anything to turn out the way I wanted. So, is Hanyuu the same way?
羽生も傷つくのが嫌で期待することをやめた。
I've only lived for 100 years, but I know how frightening it is to have high expectations. Hanyuu should also be aware of that, since she's lived far longer than me. I always thought that Hanyuu was a special existence. But, except for the fact that she's invisible, everything about us is the same. She has the same thoughts and feelings as everyone else, yet I still saw her as a special existence. That's why I just assumed that her mind worked in a different way.
僕はリカに比べて長く生きすぎましたのです。喜びより悲しみが後に残り、期待すれば裏切られる方が多いことを知りすぎてしまいました。だからもう何が起こっても心を傷つけたいと思わないのです。
だから今回の世界でも期待しないのね。私がひょっとするとこの運命から逃れられるかもしれないという期待を。羽生は私がどうせまた失意のうちに殺されると思ってる。
そんなことは思ってないのです。
Hanyuu looked uncomfortable. She had no doubts that I'd be killed again that night. That's what it means to not have hope. But she can't own up to it, because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
羽生も里子と同じなのね。何かの幸運か、誰かが助けて奇跡を起こしてくれるまで耐えて待っているだけ。戦うことを恐れているだけよ。それを強さだと勘違いしている。つい最近までは私もそうだったけどね。
Hanyuu looked down and bit her lip. Oh yes, this is definitely the moment where they fight. Alright, yes, this is definitely the part where Rika and Hanyuu fight. Hanyuu looked down and bit her lip. She couldn't deny what I said.
あんたも何度も聞いてるはず。奇跡ってのはみんなで団結しないと起こせない。団結というのはつまり信じること。みんなで信じないと奇跡は起こせないのよ。
What I just said sounded as though I was blaming her for the miracle not happening. Maybe I was too harsh to her. I stayed quiet, and Hanyuu continued to look at the floor, shaking. Then she looked up at me and spoke. I noticed sadness, but also a little bit of anger in her eyes.
触れることもできず、話すこともできない。見ているしかできない僕も、そのみんなに含まれるのですか？リカに、どんな顛末も見ていることしか許されなかった僕の気持ちがわかるというのですか？
There was a slight severity in the tail end of Hanyu's speech. Except for me, she can't communicate with anyone in this world. She hates to be reminded of that.
ごめん。やめましょう。この流れは喧嘩になるわね。自分が殺されるまでの貴重な時間を、あんたと喧嘩して過ごしたいとは思わないわ。
僕も、リカと喧嘩をしたくはないのです。
でも、これだけは言わせて。私とあなたは、友人だと思ってる。だから、友人の人生が、乗るか反るかという時に、期待しないとか、あるがままを受け入れるとか、言ってほしくなかった。
そのことは謝りますのです。でも、期待するかしないかは、僕の心の中で好きにさせてくださいなのです。
She can be very stubborn sometimes. Hanyuu seems weak on the outside, but she actually has a very strong moral code, one that she wouldn't bend for anything. She apologized to me, but she wasn't being honest. She still wasn't expecting anything good to come from this world. She still thinks that I'm going to die pitifully. That's why she refuses to believe in miracles. I've been living with her long enough to read her mind. I feel bad for her in a sense. She's been living too long, and lost all of her hope. Hanyuu told me to call her if anything else happened, and soon disappeared. I'm sure she's still around. She's still probably watching me, as if she's watching a TV show. The time of my death is slowly approaching. Will I be able to survive this time? It's been a long time since I faced this fear without drinking wine. Higurashi when they cry. Kai. Oh man. I forgot how depressing Minagoroshi kind of was. But I still love Minagoroshi quite a lot. Though it's so fucking depressing, man!
Okay.